Hi, this is Dr. Michael Scherer. I'd like to go ahead and congratulate Team Medit for being able to develop an incredible model building software built directly as an app into my Medit Link software for my Medit i700 scanner. Talk about incredible. This model builder software is native, intuitive, and really streamlined for me as a clinician for being able to make on-the-fly models for my dental practice. Often in our clinical practice, when we're utilizing digital technology, we're always looking for a variety of different options that allow us to be more efficient in our clinical practice. Many times when we're thinking about utilizing something like an intraoral scanner, such as the Medit i700 scanner, we're presented with a patient in our office where we want to go ahead and routinely and predictably make a quick dental model for the patient. And those dental models, in a historical case, we'd have to go ahead and use an intraoral scanner, save it from the Medit Link software, export it to another program, open in another program like 3Shape exocad or Mesh Mixer to be able to go ahead and build the model from our intraoral scan. When we're thinking about that as a clinical workflow, for me as a clinician, that means multiple extra steps that we have to go ahead and utilize just to be able to print a 3D printed model on our patient. What's interesting is if we think about a streamlined workflow of utilizing an intraoral scanner such as the Medit i700 and to be able to bridge it instantly with a built-in and native app into our Medit Link software such as a model builder software, we can go ahead and streamline the clinical workflow of patient in the chair to 3D printed model on my 3D printer in a matter of just a few clicks. The team at Medit has developed an innovative and unique model builder software that works within our Medit Link software for our Medit i500 or i700 scanner. And many times those creative ways are going to be able to produce quick study models or opposing models for a part of restorative dentistry or clear aligner models that my better half, Dr. Melissa Chotel, would use on her orthodontic side. To be able to take our models directly from the intraoral scanner to our 3D printer is oftentimes a little bit of a challenging clinical situation. Patients in the chair, how many times do I have to click just to be able to get a model for a 3D printed model, for opposing model, for a retainer model, for an Essex type retainer, for orthodontic case, for just plain old study models? What we want and what we really need in our clinical office is a one-click solution where we can scan, build the model, and then export it directly to our 3D printer in a matter of a few clicks. By being able to utilize a built-in model builder software in our Medit Link software, it allows us to be able to transfer those intraoral scans directly onto our 3D printer in just a matter of a few clicks. So when we're thinking about efficiency in our clinical practices, we want to be able to take that intraoral scan from our patient and directly and easily transfer that to our 3D printer. Once we've gone ahead and scanned our patient, it's a matter of a few clicks of being able to go ahead and access the model builder directly built into our Medit Link software. Rather than having to export files and re-import them into another software package, the Model Builder software app is built into the Medit Link and the Medit ecosystem for our Medit scanners. By clicking on the Model Builder function, we can then go ahead and create some very innovative model-based applications for our patient's scan. Without having to export, I can directly start working on the patient's models in the Medit Link software. Once I go ahead and click on the Model Builder function within the Medit Link software, it'll open up a dialog box that will indicate to us instantly if we want to go ahead and modify the scans of that patient at all. I can easily select different areas of the scan, cutting away parts I don't want a part of my model or adding parts that I want to include on the model. And this is really cool, especially for cases that we're doing study models or opposing dental models for restorative dentistry, such as occlusal guards, crown and bridge models, and things of that nature. Additionally, for our edentulous scans, by being able to select parts of the scan, we can really simplify the model-based production steps and streamlines within that particular aspect of the software. Once we go ahead and we select the different aspects of the model that we want to go ahead and include as part of our model, then we can align the model utilizing a 3-point or 4-point alignment methodology, which instantly allows us to go ahead and stabilize and set the occlusal arch right in the exact orientation that we want for the model. After marking my points, the software automatically joins the scan to the ideal position where the dental model should go. By clicking Next, it will automatically start to give us a preview of what the positioning and the occlusal plane of the model are desired for my particular case. We can then go ahead and choose the model height function by dynamically sliding the sliders up and down, being able to make short work for being able to choose how big and how tall my models are going to be. By doing so, it allows us to be able to print big models or little models. So if we're printing for clear aligner models or a quick study model, we can choose a variety of different applications. My study models tend to want to have a slightly larger model base than something we would utilize for like a quick retainer model or an aligner model for an aligner-based practice. Additionally, the software has built-in hollowing functions into the model. So we can then choose if we're going to do a 2mm or 2.5mm or whatever hollow function you want built into the models. The Medit software and the model builder function within Medit allows it to instantly create a hollow, simple to create model, all built in within the model builder function. Once we're satisfied with how the model base and appearance looks, we can then create the articulator functions built into the model. The articulator pins allow us to go ahead and create pins so that way if we wanted digitally articulated models, it makes for a very simple operation. Instead of us having to export these files into a dental specific software that may cost thousands of dollars, the model builder function within the MeditLink software has automatic articulator functions as well as a software text function that we can emboss or go ahead and engrave a text-like function on the side of our models. The model builder function allows us to go ahead and either engrave or emboss a text-like function on the side of a model. So if we wanted to go ahead and make a model that has the identifying marks for maybe the patient's name or the start date of the models or the actual scan dates, if you're doing as part of an aligner-based treatment and tracking the patient over time, we can either engrave or emboss the patient's name and the identifiers on the model, allowing us to print multiple models based in the model builder function. After the completion of building the models, we simply just go ahead and click Next, saves the models, and now we can very easily export these from the MeditLink software directly into our 3D printer. Taking a look at our patient scans, we can go ahead and choose the patient scan that we're going to utilize for our model-based application. Once we click the Model Builder icon, it'll automatically open the Model Builder function within the software. We make a simple assignment of the data to the maxillary arch and to the mandibular arch, indicating which of the two arches that you want to use for this purpose. This is very important, especially as you're working with multiple scans within a same patient, such as a pre-preparation mode or multiple other scans while we're working. The software will automatically give you your step-by-step function at the top of the Model Builder function within the Medit software. We're going to indicate within the software which of the areas of the scan that we want to go ahead and use as part of our model. The software automatically has a function built in to ideally choose the edges around the teeth and dentition, automatically making short work so that way we don't have to spend too much time figuring out which part of the model that we need to identify. In any areas that we want to add to this part of the scan, we can simply add to the areas of the scan by clicking and identifying the different aspects of the scan. And this allows us to select data if we're utilizing a challenging case or maybe one that we're working in a limited challenging situation. We can then identify different parts of the models that we want to keep and other parts of the models that we want to go ahead and eliminate. Additionally, we can identify this as maxillary or mandibular only, and then we can also utilize a different function such as paint and polygon tools for us to be able to go ahead and identify which parts of the model we would like to keep. Once we go ahead and identify the parts of the model, we're going to indicate a 3 or 4 point positioning of the models, which will automatically align them to an ideal position on the virtual dental arch. We can then verify the positioning of the patient's arch here on the right-hand side of the screen, which allows us to verify the midline position and the occlusal plane. We can then identify the mandibular position as well, and utilizing it from a variety of different angles just to verify that we can see the proper orientation of our patient. We can then also, once we've identified the occlusal plane, we can then just click Next to be able to create an ideal base assembly. With a very simple slider-based function, we can identify either a short clinical base or a very large base. This allows us to go ahead and work with a variety of different dental models, whether it's a simple study model or something that we're going to be using as part of restorative or prosthodontic type treatment. Additionally, for our orthodontists and doctors interested in clear aligners, we have built in ABO, or American Board of Orthodontics dental models, which will allow us to go ahead and create dental models using ABO standards in a matter of a few clicks. Since we're going ahead and producing simple dental models, we're going to work with a dental model base height that is appropriate for the patient. Additionally, we can give a preview to indicate how the model looks in a matter of just a few clicks. Once the preview function is done, we can verify that the models have been created properly. The preview model function will give us an idea of what the models will look like once the model builder function has been completed. The Medit model builder function will also give us the option to hollow a model, either at 2.0 or at 2.5 millimeters and beyond. And we can see here that we can utilize the hollow-based function. In a matter of just a few clicks, we can create a hollowed-out model, where with other software, it would be a challenge to be able to create hollow dental models. In the Medit Builder software, we can make a hollow-based dental model in just a matter of a few simple clicks. The innovative aspect of the model builder function doesn't end with hollowing and building dynamic models within our software. The team at Medit has also designed a model builder function that includes articulator pins to allow us to go ahead and create articulated dental study models that we can utilize in creative ways. And what happens with that is that it allows us to utilize articulated dental models very, very innovatively and creatively. The articulator-based function allows us to do some very interesting things in either restorative dentistry or prosthetic dentistry. The restorative-based functions of utilizing an articulator pin allows us to articulate dental models, whether they're here with natural teeth or in situations where you might have edentulous arches or a compromised dentition with only limited teeth to provide a physical articulation function. Articulator pins can be modified based upon the position of where they are on the arch, whether they're at the midline or they're at the different positions of the dental arch. The software automatically builds the articulator pins in, which can either be 3D printed with or without the articulator pins. The Medit software also allows us to be able to go ahead and emboss or engrave dental text on the side of the model. We can add a patient's name or identifiers on the side of the model that allow us to go ahead and easily distinguish between models that we've printed either for the same patient or for alternative patients while we're working. The engrave and emboss function allows us to go ahead and create a unique identifier on the side of a model, which is very important, especially for our clear aligner models or for our patient identifying marks. By allowing us to go ahead and either create an embossed or an engraved function, utilizing a text-based function on the side of the model very easily allows us to be able to put identifiers on the side of the model, which allows us to have a very streamlined function within our dental office and laboratory. Once we're happy with the completion of our models, the software allows us to go ahead and save the models built into the Medit Link software. With a single click of the mouse button, the Medit Link software joins together the model builder and our patient scan. We can save it as a file name within the existing case of our patient. So that way we have the original scan files in place. In addition, we have our model-based function also put in just off to the side. With a simple click of a mouse button, we can go ahead. Once our models are created, we can simply go ahead and visualize the models prior to exporting from the Medit Link software. The Medit Link software will save the models within the patient chart and file, allowing us to reference those at a later date. When we're ready to go ahead and export the files, we can simply just export them to anywhere on our computer and then start importing them into our 3D printer software. Once the file's been exported from our Medit Link software, we can easily then take those over to our 3D printer and literally plug our USB drive into the 3D printer. Once the models have been exported from the Medit software, we can export those either to a USB drive or to the computer network or directly to the 3D printer. When we export them directly to the 3D printer, it'll allow us to print directly from these files without having to do any sort of additional editing of the dental model.